What's up guys, it's Craig and Ryan here, back with another video on stocks and investing. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to buy Bitcoin with your stimulus checks. And the site I'm going to show you, which I use to buy my own Bitcoin, is also going to help you buy Ethereum and Litecoin and of course any stock you want. So in this video we're going to also cover something kind of crazy, which is Jim Cramer's recent summary on how to put your stimulus check into the stock market. I'm going to show you why his advice was awesome and why it was terrible. And if you want to just skip everything and get going, then you can just click the link down below in the description to Webull, and you're going to get set up with a couple free stocks just for joining.
Bond has made it so that
So once the ad is done, basically all you do is just open the description, click on the Webull link that I provided you. You don't even have to listen to me if you don't want. And doing that link will get you up to 2, maybe more free stocks from Webull just for depositing $100, which you obviously have because you now have $1,400 free dollars from the US government. So you're going to get those free stocks when you sign up. They could be Apple, Netflix, Facebook, CCIV, Google, probably won't be Amazon because the stocks are valued up to $1,600, but I've gotten a ton of free stocks in my time. You can see on my Webull app right here, if I go to menu, free stock, just going kind of quick here because I know you don't have much time in your day, you're out and about, trying to get dinner, trying to meet friends, trying to actually enjoy spring. You can see I've gotten ADT, Ford, HPE, JBlue. Even got one Snapchat here that I can't really find right now, but the free stocks are awesome. It's kind of like Christmas, and I want you to enjoy that in March because we all need a little freebie every now and then. Times have been tough lately. Okay, so the point of this video is to get you invested and to get you actually going with the stock market. And I wanted to first point out the advice that Jim Cramer said, which was great. And if you want to watch that, then we're going to put it on right here in the background. Okay, so basically he's saying if you have bills like utility bills, rent, or health insurance, pay that off. Get it done. You're going to feel so much more relaxed, and the stimulus bill is meant to make you feel good and get you through these tough times, okay? So once that's done, you can start thinking about stocks, or in his case, index funds that track the S&P 500, and this is where the bad advice really starts. And I'm going to close my Webull account here because you don't need to see that. But I will tell you for just a quick second that I'm not getting a stimulus check because I'm a YouTuber, right? But I have invested in a ton of Bitcoin. Started with not that much at all, and then it grew to this amount. So that's pretty great. That's here. That's my phone right here that we're looking at. So I want you to get to that point. Starts with just buying Bitcoin and just holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it over the months because it goes up. You fade the down periods, you fade your own emotions, and then pretty soon you have a number like this. And I want you guys to get there because Bitcoin is going to be around forever, and it's more useful than stocks, which leads me to my next point, all right? So my next point is that you don't want to buy the S&P 500 with your stimulus checks, all right? The S&P 500, the SPY index fund, is the slowest growing fund. It will do well over time, but like compared to other investments you can make in stocks that are super low, and I know most of you want gains within the next 2 or 3 months, which is why I'm saying this, the S&P 500 is going to be slower than individual stocks like Moderna or Plug Power or DNMR, SDPK, maybe by Snapchat, by Facebook. It's done great. If you buy the S&P 500, you're going to be tied to every single company in the S&P 500, and you're going to have to make sure they all do well as opposed to making sure one company does well. So I don't recommend buying that. That was his first piece of bad advice. His second piece of bad advice is that if you're older, he says you should take less risk. And he uses a ridiculous example, in my opinion, of Moderna versus Johnson & Johnson. So let's watch that. Okay, I might have to just like freeze frame myself there because I'm so bored of watching it, and you should be too. Basically, what Kramer is saying is that Moderna is something you should invest in if you're young, and Johnson & Johnson is something you should invest in if you're old. Now, I don't know how old Kramer's talking about. Is he thinking that we're like 99 years old and like just don't even have a year left? Because let's look at how Moderna has done over the past year. Okay, I'm gonna grab my phone again. Let's look at how Moderna has done over the past year. So Moderna's stock symbol is mRNA. I look them up almost every morning because I'm a big investor with them. We can go to more in 5 years, and you can see that in 1 year, so right now, what is it? It's like March 17th. So since March 17th, 2020, and we'll call it March 20th, we can close the number a little bit. It's gone from $28 to $147.55. That's a gain of this much, which is awesome. All right, that's like a gain of, in my head, I can't really do that. I think it's like about 5 times worth. Awesome. Let's look at the Johnson & Johnson stock now. J&J stock, which is one I don't look up every morning because it's really lame and no one buys Johnson & Johnson. On the 5-year basis, that one's gone. Even if we give it the benefit of the doubt, we go from the bottom of the pandemic, that's gone from 123 to 160, okay, which is a gain of bonk. All right, so Kramer's saying that if you're older, you should take less risk, which you should if it comes to like skateboarding or riding a wheelchair like at 100 miles an hour down like an escalator. Don't ever do that, by the way, and you shouldn't skateboard if you're old. But I know from talking to a lot of people in their 60s and 50s plus and know how to make a blog tutorials and investing tutorials that people want to get in on cool things if they're older because you have less time per se. Unless you're going to live to like 200 years old, which you might, you generally think you have less time to do cool stuff like multiply your money. All right, so I want you to get in on cool stuff like Moderna and not uncool stuff like Johnson & Johnson. And that's honestly kind of insulting to me that he recommends Johnson & Johnson to older folks just because they have stronger leadership or good results or good like data, because they don't, that stock's not going anywhere. They're a big company and a vaccine's not moving their stock. Plus, as I just showed you, in 1 year, you can get the growth of Moderna or the growth of Johnson & Johnson. And whatever people he's talking about that are like older, I'm assuming are going to have a year to enjoy this with. So it doesn't matter if you're young or old because we're all going to have another year, hopefully. You know, pray to God that we will. So that is just, Kramer, no. Just no. Don't tell people to invest in Johnson & Johnson because they're older. The reason he does that is because he was a hedge fund manager and he was paid well to do it and he's used to doing that. Don't follow that advice. That is cookie cutter advice, which, as most of the advertisements show us nowadays, gets you nowhere. Okay. So he also says something about Bitcoin. Let's play the Bitcoin part. Okay, so he doesn't want you to invest in Bitcoin because it's so risky. Well, here's the thing about Bitcoin. It's clearly going to be around in the future, and I know a lot of people that I've talked to, for example, my stepmom, are loving Bitcoin because they can just put in like the extra $20 to $30 they save from groceries or from eBay or whatever into Bitcoin and look at it in a month and they're like, wow, it's grown like so much and I'm part of this cool thing. So that's where I want you to be involved in it. No matter your age, Kramer, I don't want to call you an ageist, but that sounds a little questionable, man, what you just said about those Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Bitcoin things. I want you guys at any age to be involved in Bitcoin and exciting stocks. That's how we're going to look at how to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so you're going to open up the link below in the description. Click on it. It's GregNarayan.com/Webull. That'll get you 2 free stocks. What you're going to do is sign up to Webull, and it's going to be a little boring. They're going to ask you your social security number, your like address, what you want to make, what your goals are, all that stuff. Once you get through, it's going to let you deposit to Webull, okay? So it's basically going to look like, here I am opening up Webull. It's going to look like a pretty empty screen, and you're going to click on the bull horns in the middle, which gets you to your main screen. From there, this is, of course, after you fill out the basic Webull details, which I do apologize can take like a little bit of time. It might take you a day to do. You should do it in one evening if you can. Once you get that filled out, you're going to click on Quick Trade. Boom. And all you need to do is enter in a stock name like AMD, PayPal, Chewy, whatever. But in this case, enter BTC. It's going to give you the Bitcoin to US dollar trade, which is what you want to do because you have US dollars. And by the way, the first step is just to deposit that check into your account. So get that into your checking account, boom. Then you can get it into Webull. All right. So from this screen, you're going to be able to choose a limit or a market order. Because it's after 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's only a limit order, but that's okay. If it's in that like market trading hours, which are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can do a market order, which means you'll buy Bitcoin at exactly the price it's at right now. If this doesn't make sense right now, just don't worry. It will make sense once you get into it. But because we're after hours now, I'm going to do a limit, and Webull does allow after hours for everyone. So I'm just going to choose the amount. You don't need to change the price because it'll set the price for you at whatever is the best price to buy it at, which is basically like what is that now. I'm going to change my amount to something like, let's say like $215, which I had left over after I hypothetically bought health insurance, which I already have, and like groceries and stuff, which I don't have. My fridge is empty. Then we're just going to click buy at the bottom. And just like that, you bought Bitcoin. Cool. And you can do the same thing, go back, quick trade. You can do it with, see, it says my order is filled, Ethereum, boom, US dollars, same thing, LTC, quick trade, LTC, US dollars, boom. So that is how you buy Ethereum. So that is how you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin on. So that is how you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin on Webull. It's free to do. The only little fee they charge you is they might give you a slightly little different price than what the actual price was on like Coinbase when you buy it. So you have to wait a little to make those profits, but that's okay. I want you to do this quickly because everyone's going to get their stimulus checks and probably think the same thing, which is why I'm publishing this video right now. I want you guys to invest, and you can see just doing Bitcoin investments last night, I'm already up $185, and I put in $4,066. So it's really cool. It's really fun. I think we're at the start of a big wave, and I hope you guys learned how to buy Bitcoin with your stimulus checks there. All right. Questions in the comments. Subscribe for more videos like this. I'll always be in your newsfeed that way. Like the video. If you learn anything here, it's free to do. It helps me out a ton so other people see it and they don't find some other buzz one here. Peace. Greg and Ryan. Talk to you later.